fucking screen. I like this. It's so small. Oh my god, it's like 2p. Let me see if I can. Is there some way I can make it bigger? Hold on, let me see. Oh, I also didn't buy the DLC. Should I do that? The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I don't know what the DLC could possibly be. But apparently it's $40? Oh, it's for the soundtrack. Oh, it's a soundtrack. Okay. Oh, okay. It's art and soundtrack. I see. First things first. Let me, let's get this resolution up. English. Okay, subtitles definitely on. Text skip. Enable or disable skipping of text. Okay. Okay. Wait time? Sure. Sure, fascinating. Okay, cool. Story mode? Turn this on to enable story mode in place of autoplay, allowing you to progress through the game naturally, or automatically without having to press any buttons. Oh. What is this? The game becomes a movie? Oh, fascinating. Okay. You can just watch the game? That's kind of cool. And what is this? Just stuff? Okay. Oh, this is cool. Wait, this is neat. Okay. I'll look at this stuff later. Select adventure. New adventure. Wait. Was that the right one? Wait, did I fuck up?
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves
Howdy,
of
Ace.
Western
Waddles here.
influence
It's
to
that
this
time of
far
month again.
eastern
Take my
island
money.
nation.
Super random question, but do you have any advice for gym beginners?
The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
What happened?
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
What did you just do? Bienvenue au carnaval. Yes. September 22nd, or November 22nd, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of Jurisdiction, Defendant, Antechamber 5. I see. Okay, Waddles, thank you so much for the 52. I appreciate it. Yes, super into question. Any advice for gym beginners? Okay, so when you go to the gym for the first time, I think the best thing that you can focus on at first is learning how to do compound movements. So learning how to do your deadlifts, your squats, and your bench press is going to be really important because those are going to set your foundation. You don't have to worry about doing too much weight because your body is really new to it and you're going to be sore really fast or really easily. So you don't have to worry about doing too much work. Make sure you eat protein after you work out. Stay hydrated the entire time. And remember that when you're actually working out, that's not what's growing your muscles. You're tearing your muscles apart. You grow when you sleep. So make sure when you work out, you also sleep well. Because if you don't sleep well, you basically just worked out for nothing. And you should watch a lot of videos and content, and you should ask somebody around you who's experienced to help you learn all your movements. And try to eat 30 minutes to 3 hours before you work out, preferably something carby, because carbs will give you the energy to work out. You don't necessarily need protein. And then try to eat throughout the day to get enough of your calories. And yeah, if you have more questions, you should just let me know. Anyway, I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond those doors, to this quiet little chamber, is the highest court in Japan waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh, no, nothing. Savior glares. Murderer. Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke? Ryunosuke Naruhodo? Sure. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you about how a court officer should behave. Right. Ryunosuke? Yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma? Okay, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, he's kind of cute. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspaper these past 2 days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi? My best friend. Also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old, here in Japan anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet, you said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma, truly. 3 days ago. Whew. Yes, that's when all of this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know! I've been dreaming forever for this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud, as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. Oh, you gotta go to Britain? Oh, okay. You gotta go to England? See the Brits? Ew, okay. British? Tuesday. Right, on Tuesday. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better get going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Yeah, I thought you were dead. Well, this case has personal significance to me, but never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. Are we just gonna sit here? Ugh. This is awkward. Don't look at me! If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe? Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba? Okay, Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yomei University. Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushed to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. I mean, well, that's fine, because we didn't do it, so who cares, right? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. I'm sorry, what do you mean? What? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But, what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense, When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. This music better be good. Okay? The Basics of the Case music and Court Begins music are like two of my favorite songs throughout the series, so I hope they're good this time. It would seem our what the world? What in the word is that? Surreptitious discussions? Surreptitious? What the fuck is this? I've never heard of this. Excuse me? Hold on, let me do some typing. What is this? Surreptitious? What is this?
Surreptitious.
Surreptitious, huh? Okay. To kept secret because it essentially would not be approved of. Like a secret, stealthy, sneaky, secretive, sly.
Surreptitious.
Surreptitious. Interesting. Okay. Our surreptitious discussion must come to an end. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Wait, why not? Personally, I prefer the techno-electronic-y stuff. But this game heavily focuses on violins and classical stuff. I mean, sure. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. Wait. What do you mean? What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point of advocating. Of anyone advocating for the likes of you, anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lie ahead, I embark on that unforgettable trial. The great Ace Attorney. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. The 22nd of November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. So this is the courtroom. The Supreme Court of Judicature? No court in this land has more power. I don't much like the looks of these people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms are in there. The powers that I have demanded. Wait, the powers that be have... Wait. The powers be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now... You need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Oh! Pain's here? The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhado. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am now obliged to ask for the final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's what the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do? What, am I gonna defend myself? I don't know. Do I follow instructions? Do I trust some old man? I'm gonna wait and see. Kazuma is a lawyer here. I can't defend myself. If I said I do, it would be tantamount to lying. And if I've been accused of murder, for goodness sake, there's no time for lies. Try to stop fidgeting, Ryunosuke. It's distracting. But if I don't say I'll defend myself now, things could end very badly for my friend. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I am standing here, beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate... Excuse me? What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be what? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you're to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. Yeah, right? And in yourself, bro. You think I won't be able to get you off? No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have snuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel, really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent that he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous. I can't even remember that. What was it again? Do I have a court record? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record, but I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with a press of RB. If you ever forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press RB for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with RB. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. John H. Wilson, the victim of this case, he was visiting a professor of medicine at Yuma University from the British Empire. Okay. Medicine, huh? Forensic medicine and professor of medicine from the British Empire. Interesting. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. What about my stuff? Post-mortem report. Okay, let's see. John H. Wilson, male, British. British? By the way, British. Make sure you put that. That's important. Time of death, November 19th. Shortly after 2 p.m. Let's see. Cause of death. Single bullet fired at close range. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. Shot in the chest? No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. How did the single bullet fired at close range not pass through the body? With no exit wound. Huh? Okay. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Winston Payne's name in Japanese is Takafumi Auchi? Yeah. Sounds about right. Take this! Wait, right?
Yes!
Yes! Akuchi? My bad. The victim's name was Dr. H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England invited to Yuma University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yuma University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? Ugh, but I didn't do it. This case is coming together under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has unusual peculiarities, is it? Yes, exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear. Look at the time. I better get going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then. Partner. Gay. Gay, gay, gay. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think... Wait. my god, thank you for this, the follow. That was so sweet. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's visiting a professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still. I should go and say hello.
Show them, Sondrian!
Doorstop? Thank you so much for the rated 12. Wait, is that my doorstop? Is that the doorstop? Is that yesterday's doorstop? Look at you! Oh! Look at you making moves yesterday. See? I'm so proud of you. You did so good. Honestly, round of applause for you. Yesterday, doorstop went to this major and got 5th place out of 700 people? 400 people? Something. You did so good. Very good, very good. Round of applause. Next time, get 3rd. Anyway, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. I love to see it. Rather than getting 2nd in state too. Anyway, anyway, yes. Continuing on. This is the first time I'm playing the Great Ace Attorney, so sit there and watch, because this is new. Oh, this is all new. Don't spoil anything. Anyway, I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhado. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously, that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in the court, every assertion or assertion must be backed by evidence. Find a piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and plus present.
Yes!
Yes! Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot? Learn to read, you imbecile. The post-mortem report, I take it? Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, the police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way? Huh? Right, going into a courtroom with a sword, yes. I see things are really different here. As long as I'm not going to be tested on this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder's explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So, that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. This is it, then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikitoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asugi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Yeah, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Who is this? Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Yeah, who's this? Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival? La Carnival? La French? Are you okay? Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really, really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in the one district so-called restaurants. An Occidental eatery? 3 days ago? Sure. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring, but aspiring? It was just at the 2 p.m. on the day in question. We had a few diners at that time of day. Okay. The lunchtime rush was over, and there was only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of the 2. There was hardly anyone else in the place. Okay. When I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery, a gunshot rang out, so I hurried to the dining area to see what happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Yes! Yes! Hold on, was it that?
Yes!
Yes! Hold on. Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him. Oh. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw. You amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized? Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today? Guess, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. What? There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and a university student. Huh? Wait, what did you just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman on the opposite side of him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? I'm gonna wait. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I never would have gotten to Unam University otherwise. But you can't always just follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. So where's my cross-examination then? Like, okay, I guess I'll break the rules. All right, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just gonna shut my eyes and say it. Oh,
Yes!
just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him on the same table. Oh. Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was on that day. Please have a look at it if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume? That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's become completely calm and collected until now. Something seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card has entered into the court record. So, the court has now heard a precis of the case. Yes, at the moment, the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we're looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhado. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court will be willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of this case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from the sworn witness. Wait, sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it seem sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it, Bigatoba has said it, and so is the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. By any means necessary! Are you going to abandon that duty? Are you just gonna give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see how decisive his evidence really is. Indeed. Professor... Wait. Aochi? Akechi, please continue with the proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witness. Very well. Officer, please bring forth the witness at once. Hitler? Okay. Witnesses, kindly state your name and occupation to the court, okay? Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Elisa Ayisa Nosa. Yesa Nosa. Ayisa Nosa, reporting for duty, sir. Yes, sir, no, sir, I see. Myself, I employ the purveyor of fine articles of antiquity and, from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Curio, correct. Oh, Jesus Christ. Curio Korekuta at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What a peculiar pairing. Both these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day of question. They must be the diners on the other side of the table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually make tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell its wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. This man is as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yeah. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Yes, sir. Is that a baby? Standing by, ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of the most acerbic afternoon. Oh, finally, I've been waiting for those. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman, Jesus Christ. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. From the back, I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysterious, absconded, precious curio. So, his stuff went missing. This dude said he got shot in the back when he actually got shot in the front. And then there was that baby noise. So I gotta press on the baby noise. I gotta object to the fact that he was shot in the back, which he wasn't. He was shot in the front. And I gotta figure out what happened to his missing stuff. Okay. So you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the victim, or defendant, fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in broad daylight. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. When I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. Did you not hear the gunshot? I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, bang! Well, if that's the truth, then there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there was a clue as to who the criminal was. There is! Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. Cross-examine? Do it now. As we've heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It's time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates all vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of...
Yes!
What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I am, the defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Dear me, let me guess. What? The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This was clearly a waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination? The defense asserting its right to a cross-examination, whether or not you think he's capable of it, is irrelevant. Kazuma is still commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witness. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witness's statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes. Well, yes!
Well, yes.
It's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing it is in the evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves that the witness was lying. Now, let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then. It's all or nothing. What the witness saw. Let's talk about this.
Yes!
I have no idea what you're talking about. A Kaban boy. A Kaban? You mean an old Edo coin? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day, with the said item secreted in my bosom pocket, in hopes of an affluent... Girl, what? In hope of an affluent cognoscentile appraised of its indisputable value being present. So you were hoping to sell your Kaban coin to Sergeant Nosa, whom you met in the restaurant? Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were just about to assert that a penniless soldier will have no hope of purchasing a precious Kaban. Isn't that so? Well, you little upstart cadet. You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination? No, I didn't say anything. Although penniless might just be the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond the midday of luncheon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business. The gentleman beside me, who was grappling with his braised veil at the time, was my sole prospect.
It's very ghetto here.
Tater thought, thank you for the year. Thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my absconded precious curio. So somebody stole your coin from your back pocket?
Yes!
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Yes!
On your hands and knees. Could you explain that, please? That's right. Spurning the arthritis I was in order to retrieve the lost piece. What lost piece are you referring to? The Kaban, of course. The exquisite Hoei-era Kaban coin. I had just been showing the rare treasure to the military man as he masticated his meal. After averting my eyes for the briefest moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. Kaban vanished? Wait, it went away. I hence began to acquaint myself with the intricacies of the floor in order to locate it, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, do you mean? None other than. Though it was no concern of mine, I was frantically scouring the floor for the aforementioned lost treasure. So, in fact, you didn't actually witness the precise moment when the incident occurred? So that means he was on the ground looking for his coin. Yeah, interesting. I myself did not. Ugh, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Listen, Ryunosuke. We know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. You can examine and present evidence while a witness is giving testimony by pressing RB. Go through each witness statement and the details about the evidence and compare all the facts. I mean, I know where the contradiction is. I just need to figure out more details. Yeah, okay, I'll at least press the... I'll at least press it to see what's up. A guilty ooh. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about this. What's going on?
Yes!
So this black uniform university cadet, you're saying that was... Ugh. I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet. Who else do you see around here in black uniform, Well, there's someone right next to me who fits the description as well, but... It was you, you little weasel. You unloaded the firearm to that man. From behind his back, and you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me. What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that Sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something playing in my mind. In that case, check back over the details of evidence you've gathered in the court record. Alright, anyway. Oh my god, do I have to go through all this all over again? Oh my goodness. I was just kidding. I was just kidding. I got it. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, jeez. So what's going on with that? Like, what's going on here?
Yes!
No, yes! Yes!
Yes!
Yes! What are you playing at, Cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There is a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It can be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It is apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Iesa Nosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir. Yes! But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit was shot from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, well, what was that? This thing just popped up behind his back. But he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Iesa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing the gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There was no place for an amateur prosecutor in this grand courtroom. Ugh. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. Yep, exact, yep. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Yep. Oh, yeah. I'm the Fire Emblem? We really are the Super Smash Brothers. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet right there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes.
No! No, actually. But I never fired a gun. All I did was pick up off the floor. And you, old man. You didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I've already been quite clear. The gunshot interests me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Oh yes, you were looking for your Kaban coin, weren't you? Indeed. The prized Hoei era Kaban. Hunting around under the table, I was. In case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did. But I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? This is important. No. He didn't find the coin. So there's this mystery woman. The zoo was looking for a coin, never found it. There's a baby involved. The waiter was nervous about giving up the business card for some reason. I didn't get to press his statements either. Fascinating. There seem to be letters in the background of this too. I don't know. Something's going on here. I mean, I don't know. He was serving on the day of the incident. Interesting that I didn't get to press him at all. I didn't get to do a cross-examination for some reason. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoei Kaban was lost to me. No doubt, some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prized coin for himself. The baby? As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness's testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels, it must be subservient. It must feel. No matter how subservient the government feels, it must be to Great Britain. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Professor Akechi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. Wait, what? My witness has further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will be abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Ugh. Very well. The court invites the witness to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Curio glass? Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosta family to rise up to the rank, sir. Name... I do? Or Ido? It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido. Tien-shun? Your father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Okay. The true culprit. even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Okay. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Hot take. Yeah, Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was. That young man in the back, in the black. That myself, I did see. Pointing it? Furthermore, a visual search at the premises at the time confirmed that there was only one personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. Well, I don't have any evidence that somebody else was there.
Yes.
Wait, that's nonsense. Kitchen entrance. And then those are the tables. Okay. The victim, Dr. Wilson, he wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of this court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. Ugh. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was all alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is that a photo? Wait. Gimme! The table of which the victim was dining, taken immediately by an investigator after you. Huh. There's only one place set. That doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Huh. A bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen at the victim's table. Well, the only thing here that's like of note is the chair backwards? Is the chair backwards? The chair looks like it's backwards for some reason. That's weird. He is eating the steak with his left hand as well. Yeah, why is he backwards? And what's the difference between these two pictures? This one has water. This one does not have water in it for some reason. Okay, so this, okay. Interesting. Did somebody eat the steak? No, okay, it looks like they be the same steak. Okay. And Ace, why do you hate that gif of Finn eating 2 sandwiches? Because you don't fucking eat a whole sandwich in 2 bites. Because Finn is eating he's eating sandwiches in 2 bites. Why take a small bite of the sandwich if you're just gonna take a giant, eat the whole thing in a second bite? I hate that gif. It's the worst gif ever. Just big and greedy. Exactly. No. I can't be the only one who hates this, right? Hold on. Real quick. He's hungry. Yeah, no, here. I can't be the only one, right? Look at this. Look, what is this? Look at this glutton. Look at him. What? This is insane to me. And then he just goes to sleep. I hate him. 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 I hate him so much. Well, why I hate it. I hate it. I do. He's kind of pissing me off, actually. He's a goofy boy. Let him eat. Let him starve. Let me eat, actually. Not you beating with a child. Ideally, in the most ideal conditions, I want to eat a while. Exactly. And then a whole thing of juice, like, just gluttonous. Anyway. I don't get it. What's going on here? It's just not possible that no one else saw that woman. Was it a woman at all? Could it have been... Could it have been him? The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that a woman was with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witnesses' testimonies we've just heard leave no room for further doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Tetsuki Akechi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on beyond the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth, in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witness, but make it quick. Understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Ugh. Okay, so I think I need to press all these statements here because I need to find more information about this woman. At present, I don't have... What I'm thinking is I don't have any information on this woman. No one's seen her. No one's talking about her. So what I need to do is I need to dissect all of these statements, I think, to find out more info. Perhaps I can find something that's either an addendum to the cross-examination that I can then press or contradict, or find a contradiction for, or it adds something else to the court record. But as it stands right now, this ain't gonna work. I need more information. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. I'm gonna press that. What's going on?
Yes!
Let's talk about it. No, that's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire the fucking gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it's an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what? Tension? The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all. Don't you? Ugh. And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so? Korei Kuta-san. Oh. Yes. Pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, the young lad in black. That much I myself I did see. I hate pressing him because he says all these words.
Yes.
But I have to. Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as a culprit, that's the only way you could explain it that way. I just finished drinking my coffee, I was about to leave the restaurant when... I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet. So I picked it up. And at the exact moment... Can we get an alibi? Like, why would I shoot him? I don't know him. Why would I shoot a professor? Why would anyone shoot why would I shoot the professor in the middle of the... Is anyone gonna ask that question? What motive do I have to do this? I don't know him. I can think of a reason. Okay, I can too, but shut up. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry? What do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which perpetuated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the kaban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as well. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you with the pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that you were the only personnel present. Yeah, let's figure that out.
Yes.
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else seems to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Ugh. The motive can just be that you're weird, huh? If only there'd been more people dining there at the time. Then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner. In any restaurant. I know. Of course the place was empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither near nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency? It would seem that the victim...
A star Lussie.
Aaron, thank you so much for the 3 months. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Had a clinic? Yes. There would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation could be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report cards to be submitted for evidence or not? You should.
Yes!
Yes! If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to the arrival at the restaurants are of no concern. Whether or not they're any concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Ugh. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Yeah, I'm gonna need to look at that. Let me look! What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. So what's going on here? I can't look at it? Right. I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival. Wait, for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate the accused, Karakuta-san. Indeed. Alone, he was an Englishman, dining all by himself.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? That the victim, Dr. Wilson, was dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in. To the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there was only a single beef steak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before, it's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhado, it's just not a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard before, clearly stated the same thing. That he also said that the victim was alone. Yeah, all of them seem to be reacting really weirdly to the possibility of them being another person. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you were the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well... But I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes. This is a brand new piece of evidence, so perhaps we should examine it a little more in detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A, and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use up, down, left, right. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using left stick, you can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that you may have missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something to be isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use right stick, left stick, and A to inspect any areas of evidence that look suspicious. Okay, sure. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. And there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they use laughing gas, the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you from feeling pain. There's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides the water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. So is that why there's no food? The doctor was with the patient who had a tooth extracted. Is that why my water's gone? Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Oh, the victim. Oh, this is his information. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hasanaga. Yes, the business cards do tend to show a person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. His job? Oh, Chief Inspector Satoru Hasanaga. Primary Criminal Investigation Department, Imperial Police Bureau. Chief Inspector? I thought he was a waiter. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somewhere here. Wait. Interesting. This plan of the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think. Definitely. It's supposed to show the relative position of everything and the moments following the incident. But there's nothing to show the woman you saw here. Exactly. And that's not all. Look here in the upper left where it says kitchen. Oh yes, what of it? No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially not if they were in a hurry. You mean you don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Ryunosuke. Okay, so nothing on this side, I think, right? Okay. Now, I wonder if this updates twice. Fascinating. So that person wasn't a waiter at all. And this other person seems to have been... Something's fishy. Carbonated water and a steak. So who's eating steak if we just had... If he just had a... How is he eating steak, dude? Okay. Well, I guess that's all I can really do for now. Let's go back. The Englishman was dining all by himself. How can he dine if he can't eat? Objection. Yes. About what are you wittering about, lad? Call yourself call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles upon their words occasionally, under circumstances. I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in the cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. All right, and thanks for the advice. Why did you have a sword in the courtroom? You're the second person who's asked that. Kuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And... I don't see. And what of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, dear me. Have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish dribble. But let's see if I can explain it in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. Ugh, but that's... Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all. For the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could possibly perpetrate the crime. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case. Do you really believe that? What? The outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hoda Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what? It's all written up here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't... Kurakata-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that can't possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we know, couldn't have eaten the steak if he just had anesthesia, so somebody had to eat the steak. Just had one of his teeth extracted, and was still experiencing the effect of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner.
Objection!
What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photograph. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table. Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant's case have been turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Well, yes, most definitely. So, just having undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one crucial conundrum. Who was eating? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, yes, that means me, doesn't it? All right, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... me, the victim himself, the two witnesses, and as of yet, unknown third party. Obviously, it can only be someone else who was sitting at the professor's table. You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. Yes, there was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. Ugh. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through with a ruling on this at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice to pursue a fair retrial relentlessly. Oh, shit! Oh! Oh! Kazuma? Are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issues with them, those two witnesses on the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. Are these all police officers? Are these government officials trying to... These are government officials that are trying to cover it up.
Hello, I love this game.
Hi, bosses. Thank you for the 61. I saw that you played this game on Steam. So, I can infer, due to that logic, that yes, you're a fan. Thank you so much for the 61, by the way. So, it's so nice seeing you. I need more hugs from you, so you should show up to GGT next week or more often. I'd love to see you again. So, thank you for the 61. I appreciate it. We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you are deliberately lied when giving out your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury! Perjury! And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? I mean,
Kaduna, my beloved. Oh, and hi to you too, Ace.
hi, Vin. Good to see you. Thank you for the 57. I appreciate it. Wait. I don't know who that is, but... Who's Kaduna? Well, I guess we'll figure it out. Work on on Monday? Oh, fuck yeah. Okay. So, I mean, here's what I like. I don't know if any of the Ace Attorney games that I've played, I don't know if Phoenix has ever been like, so if you keep lying, we're gonna try you for perjury in this murder case. So what's going on? I don't think I've heard Phoenix do that one time. Or Apollo. Or Mia. Or Clavier's brother. Yeah. Or Athena. The judge has threatened people with it before. And to be honest, they should do it more often. They should do it more often. There's no mention of any of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders because from the police chief. You are both police officers. I knew it. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Oh. What? What did you just say, Kurokuda-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders from who? It wouldn't be the chief of police, would it be? Mm-hmm. No, hold on, lad. I was, just kidding. Say you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with the lady from overseas? Huh?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all of this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one. Give me that baby. Take him to CPS. Right, give me the baby right now. Give me the baby. I'm sorry, you're done. You're done. You're done. Give me the vase too. We're bringing that down to evidence. Like, give it here. Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order, counsel. Explain what's going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way that they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Akechi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there has only a handful of possibilities. It could have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, don't look at me! Don't look at me! I already looked! Don't look at me! I already looked! Don't look at me! Any ideas who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence the witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name who never tried to keep their mouth shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we can make any accusations. Evidence that proves whoever did it really did wield his or her power here. But how can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Yes, girl, I know. Let's just get to the part where I present it. Wait, Your Excellency. I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. And what does this defense have to say to all this? Well, Your Excellency. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witness is Satoru Hasanaga. Wait.
Yes.
Well, that surely would be Satoru Hasanaga-san. Hasanaga-san? The waiter who took stand earlier? Poppycock. What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not have possibly had that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. If he truly were? Come on, Ryunosuke. Hit this court with the truth. The truth behind Satoru Hasanaga's real identity, as proven by this evidence.
Yes.
Yes. The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. Wait, the plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? No, girl. I agree. It shows a great attention to detail, but I'm not sure we conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency. It's the back of the card. The back of the card is that of interest. I beg your pardon. Or perhaps I should have said the front. Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's what the detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hasanaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man's in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession? But that's surely... Good gracious. That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. A little bad at your job.
Yikes.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Chief I don't know. Not really good at this, I can see. Maybe they were just yeah, how do you fuck that up? You could have used a napkin, girl. The waiter is a police detective. I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentleman at the scene? Well... Inspector Hasanaga? I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, okay. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It is my guiding principle, but I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unnatural, careless mistake. So, you mean to say, you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ugh, of course! Your salary must be terrible! I was working undercover! Undercover? Yes. There have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? Is that classified information? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hasanaga, but you will elaborate on one point to the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have also been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I'm led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what happened. The victim slumped in his chair, and beside him, a gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite of the victim at the same table was a young lady who I assumed to be an Englishwoman. You're trying to cover up this Englishwoman because if it was her, it would cause foreign issues because we just signed a treaty and we don't want to get people in trouble because it would ruin the treaty thing that we just made. So we had to cover it up by making sure it was someone who was Japanese so that we didn't cause any international problems, I guess. Foreign conflict is what I'm assuming. Sure. I immediately sealed out the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. And then I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. And I served. But what if the Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest to not pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. The Englishman had been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? The actual murder weapon? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university's professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett? Giselle Brett? She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory at Yume University's medical faculty. What is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with the situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by particularly critical circumstance present. What did you say? The case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise, namely that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. But Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraph report to Great Britain. Our own government would surely be displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hasanaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly, so it wouldn't be a problem. Nothing will get in my way. Then why did you lie at first? The court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student, Giselle Brett, to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency. Good. We will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Oh! Break time! Let's go eat! Let's go get water! Let's stretch! Let's go let the dog out to pee! I'll be right back. Give me a moment. Okay, let me go pee. And go eat. I'll be right back. I'm back. I was thinking about it downstairs. For how much I like the song, I don't play it nearly enough. Did you guys like Dual Destinies? I mean, well, you know, I'm pretty sure all of us liked all of the Ace Attorney games that we played, but like, did you guys like how it came together at the end? I didn't like the ending very much. I don't think I did either. Low-key. Like, low-key, I didn't really love. I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't really love the ending. I don't really love Mood Matrix. I don't really adore the lack of Athena's presence, especially considering how much Apollo got in his game. And I don't know if I really love that in Spirit of Justice. I think she only had one case or something. To me, it's like, so why is she here? I don't want to like go over the ending or whatever for whoever hasn't played the game, but yeah, what I will say is that like, yeah, you know what, I kind of would like some more Athena, and I kind of wish she had her own game. And I wish Moot Matrix was a little bit more interesting. So whatever they do next, that's what I'm kind of hoping for. I'm like, I'm gonna need some more of that, cause yeah. But I was really thinking about it. I was just like, yeah, Spirit of Justice did kind of, you know, fix a lot of those issues. And I really like that game. But nobody ever talks about Spirit of Justice for some reason. I think that's one of the best games in a series. I seriously enjoy it. I think it's really nice. I think this game is really nice too. I'm enjoying myself. I like I was saying in chat earlier, I wonder what message that this game is gonna try to say about the legal system, either in Japan or in Great Britain or whatever. Obviously, politics is going to be a big, major factor in this game. So I'm trying to, I don't know exactly what it's going to be about, but it's bound to be interesting. I miss Mastermind Phoenix from Apollo Justice. Him going back to being super goofy was a letdown to me. Yeah. I do think in Spirit of Justice, he's the most serious he's ever been. And that's really nice to see. Because you know how Mia was with Experience? And how you saw her at the beginning of Ace Attorney 1? And you know, she was like, not to be fucked with. Same with Kristoff, I guess. Those were like the Prince Attorneys that like weren't to be fucked with. Maybe Castellio too, I don't know how good she was. But, you know, because you know they were good. I think Phoenix was that way as well. Less surprised, more authority because he's been there for a while. As such, I think you kind of have to make more room for Apollo and Athena at some point. And let him kind of be like, you know, maybe a mentor in some aspects. Or maybe have him handle like the big penultimate cases, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. Oh yeah, considering his life is literally on the line. I guess that's fair. Anyway, yeah, I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see what happens with the next Ace Attorney game. Like, where are we gonna go? Like, I seriously have no idea where we go from here. I'm excited, and I wonder what takes these games so long. Sometimes I'm like, damn. It's a visual novel. Hurry up, right? Like, you know, like make the content. Like, hurry up, like, cause I'm waiting for it. Anyway, speaking of hurrying up, I should get progress done. Really, I'm supposed to be asleep right now because I have to get up in 7 hours. But I'll go for like another hour and sleep for like 6. Anyway. Yeah, they can take a break. I wonder how well these games... Like, I wonder if the effort that goes into making these games is worth the, like, you know, the time. Like, I wonder if the profit for these games is good enough for them to justify, making them often. All right. I hope everyone's rested up and good to go. November 2nd, or November 22nd, 11:38 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant, Antechamber 5. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. Ugh, my heart was in my mouth the entire time. It's almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Anyway, it looks like you've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I've been trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson was not alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along.
It's
Yes, you
very
have.
ghetto here.
When is the GoPro basketball stream, Alien Isolation stream? Also, I'm buying a Dragon Tree soon, cause I'm making a custom ceramic pot myself.
Oh, fun.
Should I buy from a nursery rather than a Lowe's or Home Depot, and what size should I buy it at?
Mephisto, thank you so much for the 13. I appreciate it. You know what I would say? I would say you should go to a nursery because nurseries are specialized implants. That's kind of like the reason why they're there. So even if the prices are a little bit more knocked up because you're buying, you're not buying from a retailer, I think they definitely would have the specific information that you would need to make sure that you get the conditions right for that plant. And I'm not sure if they have a return policy, but if you just do what they tell you to do and it doesn't work out, you can go there and go like, so what the fuck was the advice? I put bleach on the plant like you asked and it died. What the fuck? I want a refund. So that it makes them a little like, oh, okay, we'll get you a new one, So I would go to the nursery for it, even if it is a little more expensive. I think it's worth the price. But yes, thank you for the 13. I appreciate it. I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with it? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself, then on the floor next to Wilson's table. I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just after I bent down and picked it up, I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me in some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside the dining area. There you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikitoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned for this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy, our justice system even more so, which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that might have resulted in your study to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference, lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life. I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. Don't look at me! Don't look at me! What are you looking at me for? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. And it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau was to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck! Thank you! Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There is something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. I suppose that she also goes to the school too? Defendant Naruhodo. Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before these old fossils know what hit them. Kazuma. What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So it isn't my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Marth? Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sake meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Kazuma? Okay. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Professor Akechi, or Prosecutor Akechi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forge with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think of it as nothing to worry when the new treaty breaks down and our nation wait, what? Our nation what? And our nation founders? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. Oh shit. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, and a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up! Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy. You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now on our Supreme Court, there is something I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Oh shit. Damn. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite that wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats. Thank you, Council. This court is at the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes, Your Excellency. Now let's see who this mystery woman is. Oh. Swana? Wow, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea! Someone bring English tea! In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation to the court? Of course. My name is Satoru Hasanaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at Le Carnival, but my true— Yes, we know about you already. Inspector Hasanaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. You said that your powers of observation are one thing that you're sure of. Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lagging. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. What? My name is Beauty Thief. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but... What? Are they speaking English? Is there a language barrier? The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She is a visiting research student, currently enrolled at Yume University's medical faculty. Facility? Oh my, what a rare treat to hear. The dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird song. As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called Le Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? She says, yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any fucking Japanese? She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her to escape, I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say... Yes, it would appear that the lady did witness the crime. The very moment the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Order, order in the court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you formally to testify. If you please, kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Ooh, testimony. A frightening and sorrowful sight. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only. A beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. Uh-huh. This is a condemning testimony indeed. Yeah. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Quiet, you filthy wretch. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. And look at this Snow White angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the courts are going to believe. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. He said, well, sorta kinda.
Well, sorta kinda.
On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could have concealed a firearm. I would think she could have had a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless and until the precise location of where the witness is to have had hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up! It must have been another... Wait, there must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. It's my time. Anyway, hold it! After 2 p.m., in fact. That's really a quite late lunch, isn't it? You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are in vogue. Isn't that right? No. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. Where's it at?
No.
No. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would have lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment in the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? Right, Okay, 1 second. Hold it! He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at the Hada Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of the fact? It seems so, yes. She heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the pictured steak here. Is that right, Miss Brett? She seems to be right-handed. That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was after the horrifying event. Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island, on the far side of the world, to be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Yeah, let's take a look at this court record. What's going on with this? Then why is the water and the steak on the same side? Why does he have the steak? Why does he have the steak? No exit loan. That bottle of carbonated water is going to be important too. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right. Other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water? Then why is there one meal? There's only one glass. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? It's very meaningful. Thank you for the follow, by the way. That's so sweet. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett. It has a profound bearing on this case. Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing? The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to the official testimony. Gladly, she says. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm gonna remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. I ordered a beef steak for myself and the professor, and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. Do I want to object now or later?
Yes!
So you and the professor drank this carbonated water, did you? Yes. Being the waiter, I poured 2 glasses myself. I clearly remember doing so. Except you're actually a detective. And the beef steak, that was for you, Miss Brett. The lady says that she'd heard it was not customary to eat beef here until Japan had opened its doors to the world. Yes, that's true. What a frightful place, is the lady's opinion. And I've heard it's not customary to eat sashimi in Great Britain. Now that's frightful. Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat, what does it matter what it is? True, come to think of it. The first time I tried carbonated water, it was much more of a shock than the first time I tried beef. But anyway, back to this witness's statement. Somehow, I feel like there's something out of place in what she's saying. We need to pounce on even the slightest thing now, because you never know what might lead us to our goal. Our goal is turning this trial around. Understood, Kazuma. So what's going on with this?
Yes!
That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene, that it was exactly how it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is... It's odd. It's very odd. Dear me, what's odd about the defense's inability? What's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ugh. Rinosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here. Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case? Minutiae, you say? Minutia? Minutiae, same thing. Could it be that the detective here removed the glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses of water on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me that you can only clink with 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all. She's saying? Good gracious. Sorry. There. As I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2? In her state of disarray. That's absurd! Oh, really? So do we take it that you are not going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene, with no pockets. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. Well, there you have it. What? There you have it. I mean, what's going on? I mean, you know what else can go in a handbag? A gun. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end, it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You've wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I think that is important. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance here, If there's a deeper significance here, it's the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English women carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag. In which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up a gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce that there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't be seriously suggesting. Inspector Hasanaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir. I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. Order! 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 What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Akechi? Why on earth did you not have the lady open the handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have the chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Don't you think so, Kazuma? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly, you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I completely had forgotten about. This photographic print. What's going on there? Y'all see that on the wrist? What's going on? What do you guys think that mark means? Is that a tattoo? It looks like a cow. Like a beef tattoo or something. Or a birthmark? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it looks like a bull. Interesting. This print... Wait, this print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are in the height of fashion in London at the moment. How are you chief prosecutor and you forget about a fucking crucial piece of evidence, you idiot? So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that. Naruhata-san. Oh? Order, order! Inspector Hasanaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. Yeah, give me a fucking second. Shut up. Yeah, that's looking like a bull, y'all. Does that matter at all? It has to, otherwise why would it be here? Like, why specifically put that there? There's the handbag. He was shot right there. This has to matter, but why would it matter? Fascinating. So there's anything else here? Can I flip it over? Hada Clinic, huh? So he hates... Okay. So he hates doctors. Okay, well that isn't helping me learn anything. Well, let's see. The carbonated water. There's a little bit of blood or whatever on the steak, right? Oh, look at that. I see something. How did he eat the steak? It was a hot plate. That's why there's the thing on it, and then there's the wood plate, and then there's like so the steak is hot. So he got branded accidentally. How did he get branded? He got burned. What happened to him? But he isn't supposed to be eating. So if he isn't supposed to be eating, then how did he get branded? He's not supposed to be eating at all. How did this happen? Also, I'm not sure if it matters at all, but the water over here is not is empty, and here it's not. So I'm not sure if that matters at all. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed, and there's only one logical conclusion, that the pathetic rookie slumped over in the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of this witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. You mean, this is it? I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but the weak are meat, while the strong eat. You were wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. A fact that you can chew on your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance of this turning out the trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you... Yes! Wait, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke? I don't think you could rule in this case just yet. This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom. Your Excellency, just a moment ago, you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means that there's a problem. If there's a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then the ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question. This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photograph. All it shows is the handbag the gentleman was carrying on the day in question. There could be no problem with this evidence. You better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Clearly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity. But be warned, if I am unsatisfied with the response here, the trial will be over with an immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Damn, hit me with it. Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hasanaga submitted before me. You identified for the court where in this print we see a significant detail that you've alluded. Gotcha! Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering on what new pifle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark. You're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was determined unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as the prosecutor Akechi points out, unless it's a firm connection to the case, that can be shown. I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Also, hi Cardinal. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold up. Wait, what? Girl! I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What is your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn has something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, and hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to price this shutting door back open again. Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I cannot allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn, but as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. And I know exactly what it is. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves that the burn what it really means. It's right here.
Yes.
Wait, I think I did the wrong one. Wait, it was the wrong one. Wait. Oh, wait, I was just kidding. It was the wrong one. It was the wrong one! I picked the wrong one! I was kidding! You've been burned. Wait, I was just kidding. It was a joke. Can I not tell a joke in the middle of court? Damn. Like, is it that serious? I was just kidding. Damn. Ugh. Like Squidward, I was just kidding. Come on. You guys know I was just kidding, right? Anyway, it's this.
Yes.
What's this, Counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe this photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded furthermore, or forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we might need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible on this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Attention!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? It's right here.
Yes.
The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate that the steak was served on. The plate? Your Excellency, are you all right? As you can see, there is an emblem on the plate. I would guess that it comes from some sort of trademark of La Carnival. This emblem on the plate and the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ryunosuke, you genius. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. But he can't eat.
Objection!
But even if that's the case, we can't know it happened on the day of question or not. It could have been the day before or the day before that. It most likely happened some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, the prosecutor Akechi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hasanaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But... I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you please be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter.
Yes!
There you have it. Something's not right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Hasanaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carefully laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds on that day, it would have been when he got shot. That would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us, without any question, would have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Professor Akechi? Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it, Ryunosuke. Do you think? Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd have read a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation that I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already dead. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead. Already dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. That's madness. Order, please. Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot. That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts. No, Prosecutor Akechi, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered a burn while at that restaurant, Was he poisoned? Was there toxins? Is that why there was no gun? Well, then where did the gun come from? This whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement. But, Your Excellency, the justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile? Yes. Of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I'm studying in your country after all. Then why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? I'm just fucking quirky. My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of the English gentleman. So I can say that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your level. Oh, okay, well, you're the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afforded us. In that case, Miss Brett, I will ask you to testify in your own words. I had to use an interpreter for it too, exactly. So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Am I finally going to hear the cross-examination music intense? Because that's how you know, right? Because everyone kind of knows, right? When you hear the Allegro cross-examination music, it's like, okay, let's wrap it up, y'all. Let's wrap it up. Allegro? Please be Allegro. Okay. Unfortunately, I have no idea when poor man's burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I had raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem's report showed no other possible causes of death besides the gunshot. If there's any other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't have picked up on it anyway. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it. I hope this is the last time I'll have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. No, not at all. It's a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly what? Irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Prime Minister of Justice about what's happened here today. Minister of Justice? May that irritating bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks. Was that a prayer then? Well, you have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and to put up with the cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you might put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure you don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination for this trial. Fuck yeah. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Unfortunately, I have no idea that... Hold on, shut up. But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You could not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly in those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't have not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Oh. What fun! You hadn't realized! The dear lady is absolutely right. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well yourself, Ryunosuke. Why didn't you fucking tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh, yes. I think my tiny brain can.
Yes.
Well, I can't. Anyway. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I... Hold it. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water. Is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember, which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although, whether or not the prosecutor or the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. I have enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefits of the court, it means bless you. I mean, well, there it is, right? Well, there it is. That's what I was wondering earlier. That was like 5 minutes into this when I was looking at the court record, and I was just like, why is there water not here? But there is water here. That had to have been important. And then there's the one glass too, right? The reason why she took this glass is because it's his glass, and she put poison in this glass and took it away from the crime scene. That's what she did. That's what she did. There were 2 glasses. One of them was just filled with poison, though, and so she poisoned him, and then she tried to take the glass away and use that and try to dispose of the evidence. I know what she did. Because she's nasty. I know exactly what she did. And then she shot him afterwards to make it look like it was something else. Disgusting. Honestly, disgusting. She thinks she's so slay. Exactly. Like, what is her deal? Anyway. As far as I've heard, the postmortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides a gunshot.
Yes.
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, it's a little burn, and a little bit burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And there were no signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death. It can only be from the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But that doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled down even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim had burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought over from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point.
Objection!
And yet, the fact that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the by the chest. And so you're able to show evidence to disprove that. This is a complete waste of fucking time. I concur. Prosecutor Ikechi is right. Ugh. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do
Yes!
without leaving a trace. If someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there's always the telltale traces on the body. Oh, quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Is that right, Inspector Hasanaga? As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There'd be physical traces with all these causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell me everyone exactly how you think that the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady innocent a question. On my honor, I, Akechi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspirations. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence.
Yes!
So which one do I present then? If my issue is the water, do I present this one? Like, if my issue is that the water was poisoned, which one do I present? What do you think? Probably the glass? Probably this. Okay, what's precious racism? What's going on? Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the land of the Great British Empire, the police saw everything found at the crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. Lady Carnival is open for business as usual today. Just days after the incident. Oh, that's gross. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can. You understand. Killer blow. The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting that our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Akechi is starting to finally see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We may need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue that can help us put a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you, you mean? About Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her. Inspector Hasanaga. The detective? Yes. He seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If I can present an opening, maybe. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but But this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I found a student up, I suppose. Once I pressed misread on her last statement again. Yeah, what's going on with this? Like... Yeah, hold it.
Wait.
There it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman is saying. What she has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very, very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you often find that they left their guard down. Well, fuck Apollo Justice, I guess. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry, pursue? I'll explain how to do it now. Ryunosuke. It all has to do with the witness's marker? What marker? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right, you can turn your attention to other people on the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you may be able to pursue them with A. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you just might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people in the stand, take a good look around. Move the marker across with left and right and then focus on the detective. Then pursue him with A and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Wait.
Wait, I kind of love that. Oh, this is cool.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. What's the meaning of this? I looked up his coughing, and initially people thought that his disease was tuberculosis, because a lot of people in this period had that. Okay. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts, deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. Is Ryunosuke supposed to... No. Is Kazuma supposed to be Edgeworth? I mean, he's doing the Edgeworth hand thing, so probably. If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? It's a delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is at the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved with the case. Inspector Hasanaga. Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well...
Well, yes.
the lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Hasanaga, always try to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking at my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. You changed out glasses. The crime scene thief. Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that... This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took from the victim's table on that day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, hadn't been opened 3 days ago. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there is some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day, our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming. I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept this glass bottle of water as evidence. Give it to me. I know exactly what this is. Let me see. There's cyanide in here. Bitch! I knew it. Let me look. Very expensive water. Fiji? The last drink he's ever had. No. Let's not do that. Could there be anything in this water? Exactly. Miss Brett, can you confirm that this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes. Yes! It was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Well, she just admitted to murder. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fever. Ahem. Oh yeah, please do show you, huh? Anyway. Objection! Oop. Objection! What is this? The bottle of water. Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison! On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was a poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? I feel like... Damn, poison and nail polish, poison and water. You can't do shit in this game. Oh my gosh. And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to sip poison into his drink? There's only one person who could have possibly have done it. Giselle Brett, it was you!
Objection!
This is outrageous. To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You rookie imbecile. Have you considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we've only just signed a accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you the vaguest inkling that your rash accusation could jeopardize the entire treaty? I don't give a fuck about the treaty. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. Huh? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We're here to determine the truth. If I may, I will silence you forever in its disgraceful attack on... It's you who should be silent. Of course. Dear lady. Where did that come from? She just snapped. She really did snap. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly there. I offer my humblest apologies. Sorry, my lady. To what are you referring to? I describe your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Professor Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its content. But what you didn't test was this. You didn't even test that. Who knows if that's the same bottle? This one has the cork on it. This one does... Wait. Yeah, this one has the cork on it. When was this taken? This one has a cork on it. But this one does not. Is that important? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle carried over the water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. I'm very grateful to all of you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this whole affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution has asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. No, it's not! What about the burn? Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter was resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Yes, the bag. Yes, the bag. The bag. I need this bag. I need to look at this. There's something about these cups that I need to inspect. Like, fuck the bottle. The bottle could have been replaced. I need to know about these cups. I need to know exactly what's going on with this. Because this ain't right. If he's dead here and this is empty. Kazuma? Sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, Celebi, excuse me now. I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Give me that bag. Give me that fucking bag. Uh-huh. Give me her purse. Please, wait. What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Wait. Susato Mikitoba, judicial assistant to the defense. Mikitoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furokoshi cloth. Wait, again? Can we hurry up? I have school tomorrow. This shouldn't take that long, right? Are we almost done? Alexa, what time is it? Alexa! What time is it?
The time is 1:06 a.m.
Oh my god, I have to get up in 6 hours. Holy shit. Probably better to stop here. Is it? But we already know what happened! Okay, I should stop. Another hour at least? No, then I'll compromise on my sleep. I shouldn't do that. Okay, I guess we'll figure it out next time. No! Okay. When shall we return then? Well, my anniversary was yesterday, and we planned on going out to eat. So at some point, I guess I could stream tomorrow, but if not tomorrow, it would be Wednesday. Because we need to figure this out. Like, obviously it's her, and obviously it has something to do with that glass. So I guess we'll figure it out exactly on the next episode. But anyway, okay. So I hope we're having fun. That's a lot of reading. But I hope my reading is acceptable. And I hope we're having fun. And I like working this out together. It's only the first case, so I feel like these answers are kind of obvious a little bit. But we'll do more next time. So, yeah. I will see you guys later on. Hopefully in a day or so, okay? And then, yeah. Okay. Sleep well, everybody. If you came from Doorstop's radio ear and you stayed, thank you for being here. If you haven't followed already, then you should, so that you know when more episodes are happening. And for everyone who subbed and followed, and etc., and helped out, thank you very much. And thank you for not backseating. I really appreciate it. Thanks for